Good morning, pregame crew. How are ya? It is Monday, October 16th, 2022, 6:20 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time. Good morning. I hope you are well. We have data in 10 minutes. It is a two-star event, but we know that this market can be temperamental, like a 2-year-old throwing a tantrum. And algos are very shifty as of late, for lack of a better word. So data in New York Empire State Manufacturing Index in 8 minutes, and Fed member Harker is speaking twice today. Harker is barking. Their last names just open up the door for so many different things and play on words. Perfect. Thank you, Night Truck. Good morning, Shake and Bake. Hector. Hey, Tom. Marvin. Nugget. Greg. Hey, 374 Alon. I wish I was in Asheville on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hey, Andre. Topher. Marvin. Card Lady Gino. Shake and Bake, I appreciate all your positivity. Hey, Sam. Hi, Shambhu, all the way in India. I saw an Indian wedding this weekend on TV, and it was beautiful. Hey, Mel. Roxorito. Shake and Bake. Again, I keep saying hi to you, but maybe I want to. Hey, Sir Fernando, Basque, Behawk, Mike, Kaiser, Ed, Cat, ER. WMT, is that crypto? Or you want Walmart? Okay, there is a WMT. I know you're a crypto guy. Daily lower high anticipated. Second weekly inside bar forming. Four-hour uptrend. Hourly uptrend approaching overbought. In a daily downtrend, careful. If you're in long, I'd stay in long as these 15-minute EMAs are below you. You did? You rode an elephant? That's awesome. I love the music. It was a Punjabi wedding, and the music was awesome. Link has a great EQ Dan called out this weekend. Link USD. Yeah, just a really tight pattern here on the daily chart. Weekly uptrend. Daily sideways. 4-hour downtrend. Bitcoin is strong right now, so that is weakening Link. Hourly downtrend. All right, let me go back to the top. PXD. Marvin, I hope you're doing good, and Lou Lane is good. Oh, PXD got bought out by Exxon. I don't know what the share price was. I bet I could find it right here. Looking. 60 billion, but I don't see the share price. So when you have a buyout, it's typically just going to be a fixed price. I don't know what that price is. It did get an upgrade this morning, so I guess the acquisition hasn't happened. They've just reached a deal. So whatever that price is, if it's $251, let's say, then you don't have a good chance of going over that. So I stay away from these. I know people who just play the spread, and they would just sit there and trade it like between 250 and 251, playing that spread if that's what the buyout price is. Again, I could probably dig a little more and find it, but I'm not going to have a lot to say because it has a fundamental news event impacting it. All right. You're closer to Boone. I've been to Boone. I dated a guy whose grandmother lived in Boone, and she was a poet laureate. Really cool. Her last name was Freeman. Okay, going. Oil. Yep, it definitely could escalate. If the war escalates, that could continue to put bull pressure on oil. If you've been around here for a while, you know I drooled over this weekly EQ all summer long, and now it's coming to fruition. Oops, just saw something. Do y'all see that? Careful with that potential weekly head and shoulders in the RSI. Weekly lower high, the more likely scenario. Daily got that uptrend. It's bullish. Hey, PNW, thank you. I appreciate you being here. So it is mutual appreciation. Apple, I'm assuming that's what you want. Yeah, you want Apple. Apple is weak. They had some iPhone news this morning in China. Sales are slowing or something. A daily higher low is still the more likely scenario. Hourly is approaching oversold, not oversold yet. So you may get a bounce on oversold, or it could continue going lower because this is news related. I'd say stay in reverse back burner mode. You want to know if it's a falling wedge on the daily? Nah. Nope, don't see it. Doesn't mean it's not there. You know, we all look at charts through our own subjective lens, but I don't see how that could be. I see the lower lows without follow through here and here, but that's just 2. That's not 3. So XOM. XLE looks strong because oil looks strong. XOM does not look strong because it was the acquiring company of PXD. So with that large capital outlay, they got hit with some bearish pressure. It's recovering from that now. And bulls bought that dip as if it were a daily double bottom last week. I commented on it in the room. Daily lower high anticipated compared to 112.07. However, if oil keeps screaming higher, then I would not be top fishing Exxon. 253. Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Scotty doesn't know. Bitcoin is bullish. Last week I kept saying that Bitcoin's bearishness was a big divergence when we were having bullish days, and then the market caught up with Bitcoin Friday. And I'm wondering the same thing this week in the opposite direction. Bitcoin had a heck of a night last night. Look at that move. And Dan has been calling this out because we've had this tightening range. And we had a bull move, but we're running into the 200 MA overhead. Up here, I'd be looking at top fish 28,109.94. That is a better risk to reward if you don't have a long right here. Then you wait for a short closer to resistance. If you're in long, I'd stay in long as the 15-minute EMAs are below you. And the other way you can trade this is wait for back burner. So we have not hit 15-minute oversold yet. And we haven't hit, we did hit 5-minute oversold. That was a great back burner. So now we wait for first 15-minute oversold for a potential long. Good morning. Hey, Mila. AMD. AMD is looking for a daily higher low. Sitting on the 21 EMA. Yeah, I had AMD as my runner-up. These two are runner-up, or actually these 3, 4, 5. I have 5 runner-ups to movers and shakers. I liked AMD for a potential long because we're oversold down here looking for a daily higher low. So we may get one more push down and open. I'd love a gap down, and that gap down I think would be for buying. When we have a gap down situation, let me outline this. I need to type it out for myself. Beach ball setup. That's when you're looking for oversold conditions while you're scouting the most likely scenario, in this case a daily higher low, and you want that gap down situation. And then it's like trying to push a beach ball underwater. That's how I would view AMD today, as a potential beach ball setup. I wish it were more oversold, like even on the 4-hour, but well, we take what we can get. I think a gap down would be lovely for buying. I do NVDA every morning, and CGC has a daily inverse head and shoulders. We're looking for potential continuation. I have CGC long right now. I bought it Friday, thanks to heads up from a friend that the chart looked good, and I agree. The daily inverse head and shoulders. I mean, bulls have a crap ton, excuse my language, of things to prove. We're looking for the weekly higher low, potential daily inverse head and shoulders. I like this squeeze on the 4 hour. I like it long. I'm in long, and I may add to it today. All right, y'all ready to get started? Let's get this show on the road. Oh, I skipped PLTR. I will be doing PLTR. I like it long. Yeah, it made the list. I didn't actually type it in my notes, but it did make the list today. All right, good morning. Welcome to the pregame show. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter, you can check us out at chartguys.com. What we do is we teach technical analysis, and we have a ball doing it. I had my best day trading Friday that I had all year, and it felt good. September was not my best month. Some of you know the background of what happened, but it was not a great month of trading. I'll tell you, I was off my A game, and that's okay. And you learn, hey, I'm not going to trade every day. I'm not in the right mental space. Well, Friday, I found my flow. I found it, and it was awesome. I traded AMC, and I think some of you took the trade with me. And it was after I was the pregame show, I shut down my mic, and then I pulled up AMC chart because the Taylor Swift thing, everybody was talking about it. My daughter was all hyped about it. And I was looking at this uptrend line, and I'm like, it launched. This is everybody buying in anticipation of the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie. And then it's sell the news event. So it had a technical setup. We were terribly overbought, looking for a weekly lower high with 4 hour overbought, sell the news, clear trend line. It was one of my A++ setups, and I took it short, and I sold AMC. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, I can pull it up. So I know this is messy. So I traded this Friday. I got it for 4 cents, these puts, and I sold all the way up. I nailed this top 65 cents. I sold a scale, and I sold a scale at 70 cents. So I almost got the bottom tick and the top tick on AMC puts on Friday. So I did post it live. That's the only way I would tell you about a good trade, is if I told everyone in advance that what my setup was, what I was doing, that I got in, that I got out. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sharing this with you. And I'm not, I guess this is a humble brag, because I'm also telling you that I had a terrible September, but there was a lot of personal issues going on, and now I found Stella got her groove back, and it was wonderful. And I like AMC for a long this morning, actually. So what I do here every morning is I try to get you ready for the markets, and I show you this handy dandy table. Overall, we're still looking more bearish than bullish. Bitcoin is the shining star. I have it highlighted as something that's diverging from the larger part of the market. But also, if you look at these charts, those are some pretty big divergences. When you have larger sectors not rolling over with QQQ. QQQ is being weighed down this morning by Apple headlines, and it is weighing on the market. But we have other sectors that look perfectly fine. If they're all pulling bull, it would be hard for the market to go down and for this bearish scenario to work out. We had data, it was negative 4.6. I don't know what that means. I do not follow this index, but just sharing. And again, we have Fed speakers today. I have my notes off screen. I copy and paste those for TCG members when I am done. All right, let's go to the indices. Thank you, success. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. When you hold yourself out to be a good trader, obviously I teach, so I hold myself out to be a good one. It feels good to give a trade out publicly and it work out. They all don't work out, so it can be an ego bruising process if you let it. All right, ES. We got a lot of conflicting scenarios going on. We're looking for a weekly higher low. That's the more likely scenario. Where does it get put in compared to this resistance here? The weekly lower high is the more likely scenario. And then You go down to the daily and you have a competing most likely scenario. You're looking for a daily high or low. You go to the 4 hour, you're looking for a 4 hour low or high. So let's type that out. We're looking for a weekly low. Here's the more likely scenarios. Weekly, low or high, daily, high or low, 4 hour, low or high. And that's difficult trading. To trade ES right here, right now, I think it's difficult. The daily high or low is the more pressing issue right now. In my opinion, that's the scenario that's more likely to play out. So then I say, okay, we have an hourly uptrend. I would be more long down here than short, still knowing what the weekly scenario is. There's no reason we have to top out here. So daily high or low is what I think is weighing on bears right now, and they need to be careful. So if we could get a 4 hour high or low compared to 43.40 and set that daily high or low, I would like that scenario. But overall, I think ES is in a tough position right now if you're trying to trade directionally. Y'all know I sold iron condors in July where we were choppy, and I took advantage of the chop, and I was selling iron condors, meaning I wasn't picking a direction. I was picking sideways as my direction. Well, since August 1, you've had to be painfully directional or you would get ripped to shreds if you were selling iron condors because we've had more trending days. So here, I cannot be painfully directional. I do not see a clear trend. We could have a sideways day, and that would make sense. We're opening up right in the middle of last week's range. So we could have an inside bar today. That would make sense too. Oh, heads up. We have earnings this week. We have Netflix and Tesla Wednesday, and we have a slew of earnings. We have airlines, banks, technology starts this week. Tons of third quarter earnings, and that could impact the market. And Fed Powell speaks on Thursday, I believe. Where is he? Where are you talking? Yep, Thursday, right there at noon. So that could be a market moving event as well. In my opinion, it would make sense if we stayed range bound this week, but war news could come out and that could change that very quickly. We have major geopolitical headline risk as we're trading, so position size accordingly. And then my other warning is President Carter has been on hospice since February. So if he were to die, we could have a market close day. So just keep that in mind as well. Wow, I had a lot of warnings, didn't I? NASDAQ, weekly low or high, the more likely scenario. Daily high or low, the more likely scenario. We lost that daily 50 MA, and I think that's pretty important to go back and reclaim that. 4 hour is pretty sideways, and hourly is a downtrend, while ES is an uptrend because Apple is heavily weighing on the NASDAQ. All right, RTY. Is the sky falling yet? Thanks, Green Eggs and Cam. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, RTY, we are in an uptrend. RTY is stronger than NASDAQ. I haven't said that sentence in a long time, that RTY was stronger than NASDAQ. So NASDAQ's taking a breather this morning. NASDAQ ran like their hair was on fire, and it's been carrying this market. So if it wants to take a break, that makes sense. What RTY bulls would love to see, market's popping here. What the RTY bulls would love to see is something like this, maybe Adam and Eve reversal pattern on RTY. But this is not where I would put all my marbles on RTY long. IWM has been weak, super weak. And on this weekend's video, let me see if I can pull that up. Swing report, I went over the daily 50 MA. Look at where Apple is, the daily 50 MA. Microsoft, daily 50 MA. Tesla, daily 50 MA. Y'all know how I get really super passionate about the daily 50 MA. Yeah, take a shot every time I say it. So I think we're at some key points that we need to hold. We're losing daily support here on Tesla, and we're possibly losing the daily 50 MA, and we have earnings on Wednesday. All right, Dow. Dow double daily inside bars. Look how much stronger this is than NASDAQ, RTY. Dow is running the show. We are up 190 points. So if we have, let's see if I can do this. I know it's painful to watch me write. Trust me, I understand. So for the bull side and the bear side, we have XLE, XLF, XLV, Microsoft, Dow, IWM, and ES are all in hourly uptrends, okay? What's holding us back over here? QQQ, Apple. That's holding us back. Is that enough to tank the market? I don't think so. I know QQQ, when it's running, it's hard to short the market, but with it pulling back, and this is not a big pullback. How far are we down on NASDAQ? We're actually just went green on NASDAQ, but overall, Apple is weak. Apple's bouncing, trying to recover a little bit. So overall, I think this bodes well for the market. This scenario here, I think this bodes well for the market. When we have these major sectors all bullish right now in pre-market, and the only one that's weighing us down is Apple. Okay, let me go back to my notes. I did tell you I was a big earnings week. Hang Seng was down 0.97. DAX is down ever so slightly. I agree, Green Eggs and Cam. I agree. What a great name. Okay, VIX is pulling back pretty hard. This is what I'm looking at on the VIX. That weekly resistance line treated me well and guided me well. And this is not a confirmed megaphone because we did not get that higher high. Bulls were unable to get over 2088. We rejected at 2078. We got a double top right there. But I think this bodes well for market bulls. Again, war headlines could change this, but we're pulling back pretty hard, and that has me looking bullish as well. Bitcoin looks great. It held the daily 50 MA. That was on my weekly swing report video as well, as that the Bitcoin was holding daily 50 MA. But we're running into a problem here with the daily 200 MA overhead on Bitcoin, and a daily lower high is the more likely scenario against 28288. So careful, bulls, but I would keep it on 15-minute back burner watch. First 15-minute oversold. I think that's where I would step in long. Ethereum, we are in a daily downtrend. A daily lower high is the more likely scenario. If I were looking for a bear trade, I would stick with Ethereum. And if you're looking for a bull trade, I'd stick with Bitcoin. All right, the dollar. The dollar, a daily lower high is the more likely scenario. Fat N, I'll try to get to it, my man. Weekly is super strong. However, this could be a daily head and shoulders. We've talked about this ad nauseum. I'm sorry to go over it every day, but I kind of have to. It's my job. Daily lower high, the more likely scenario. We're pulling back pretty hard on the hourly chart. And gold is not taking advantage of it. So gold had a crazy Friday. This was a parabolic move. We talked about it Friday morning. It was unbelievable. And we kind of had a bit of a blow off top. But dollar's pulling back and gold's not taking advantage of it. And they were actually in a love relationship on Friday. Dollar was going up and gold. That just showed how bullish gold was. People were moving to gold as a hedge. And that may be why Bitcoin's going up as well due to war. And I told y'all this was a war chart. Gold was a war chart. All right. So daily lower high is still the more likely scenario on gold. 4 hour got overbought. Y'all see the head and shoulders here in RSI? Come on. We'll see if that's what we get, but I am not bullish gold up here. We're looking for a daily lower high. That's the more likely scenario. And maybe the war headline overcomes the more likely scenario and negates it, and we get that higher high. But I would be much more comfortable bear up here on gold than a bull. Oil got that higher high, benefiting from war headlines. I think if you want a long on oil, I think you look for a back burner, 5 and 15 minute oversold. Nat gas is a mess. We are looking for a daily higher low, and we are looking for a weekly higher low. And we have a potential 4-hour bear flag. I don't like it. Man, I was hoping for a trade on nat gas, but it continues to act like a little shit. That's a bad word, kids. All right, Apple. Apple had headline news this morning. iPhone sales are down. Let's see. Come on. Down 4.5% in China. Okay. I'm just going to stop and do it right now. I'll get back to Apple. 1 second. Daily, that got a bearish candle on Friday. Big upper wick of bears selling into the pop. You are in gap fill territory. So you don't have resistance in this area. That's good for bulls. Daily uptrend. I would be looking to top fish against Friday's high. That's what I'd feel more comfortable doing. If you're in long, I'd say you could stay in long as it's holding these hourly EMAs. Okay. Back to Apple. I'd keep Apple on reverse back burner watch. I think we could even short against Friday's low right here. I think if we push up into that, that could be a potential top fish area. And if the whole market's screaming higher, I stay away from my short ideas and I focus on my long ideas. I prefer to trade setups that are congruent with what the market is doing. They're parallel. They're correlated. So if the market's going up, I'm looking at my bullish setups. If the market's going down, I'm looking at my bearish setups. Just keeping it simple here. But Apple could be a good top fish setup against Friday's low if bulls are unable to reclaim it. Amazon. What did my notes say about Amazon? Daily 50 MA, rejection Friday, not as heavy as Apple, but closer to Friday's low. So the daily 50 MA right there. Gosh, I love that. That's my favorite indicator. I don't know, 50 MA and the squeeze are my favorite indicators, I believe. If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the link below in the YouTube video to get a copy of PDF explanation as to what all these colors are on my Rainbow Bright chart. All right, Amazon, rejection from daily 50 MA. You know what? I'm just babbling because I don't have a setup on Amazon. We're now in the middle of Friday's range. I can't do a lot with that. Maybe a top fish of 130.89, but I prefer to top fish Apple over Amazon, so I'll leave it alone. Nvidia, we're looking for a daily higher low. We are oversold on the hourly. Yes, yes, yes. Hercules, I am clapping for this. This is a beach ball setup. We are oversold on the hourly. What would make it even better is if we were oversold on the 4-hour. But give me a gap down when we're hourly oversold, looking for the daily higher low. As long as it's not news related, which I don't think this is, I wish it was still flushing. This could be a good long opportunity. The weekly lower high is likely set, and we do have this potential head and shoulders pattern. But as I've been warning y'all, this is also a potential monthly bull flag. So careful getting overly bearish on Nvidia here. Y'all see where that daily 50 MA is? This just moved to my top setup of the day. Looking for an Nvidia long this morning on give me a flush. Tesla sitting on the daily 50 MA. You have earnings on Wednesday. And what that means is I don't day trade Tesla the week of earnings because you have ridiculous high premiums on options. So I avoid it. Yeah, I don't see a setup right here right now on Tesla. ARM is green right now. I'm just keeping this on my radar for this week on a loss of 49.85. I want to know about it. I think this would be a great short because you're in black dirt breakdown. Loss of 49.85. I would be looking for a short on ARM anytime this week. It may not happen today. IONQ, reverse back burner watch. This one, we're looking for a 4-hour lower high, and this thing has been weak. And I'm looking for the first 15-minute overbought conditions during regular trading hours for a short. This is not at the top of my list, though. It was in my top 5 here, but it's not at the top of the 5. It's probably at the bottom. NVIDIA is still a better setup than that. Meta, daily high or low on watch. We're looking for a daily high or low. And I think a bottom fish against Friday's low could be a good area to look for that daily high or low. PLTR, market's looking good. So I would stick with these long setups, not the short setups, if the market continues to bounce. Okay, on PLTR, we're looking for a daily high or low. Hourly got oversold. So I like PLTR. We're gapping down. I like that gap down buy, looking for that daily high or low. It's same setup over and over here today. Roblox, this is very, very akin to the AMC setup. Look at AMC. Do y'all see it? Just a clear trend line, clear uptrend. And then when you break it, you tend to fall down a little bit harder. So Roblox looks fine. On the weekly chart, we got a higher high. On the daily chart, we got a higher high. We are looking for a higher low. I better be careful with this one. I'm taking that one off the list. I was looking for a reverse back burner on Roblox, looking for the 4-hour lower high compared to Friday's high. And AMC was so tight this morning, but we're breaking the low of Friday. The Taylor Swift data came out this morning on how much they sold that movie. So I think this could be a gap down buy on AMC. So I'm switching to a long, but I am not overly convicted on it, but I am going to watch it. And SMCI is looking for a daily higher low compared to 276. We held it by $1 on Friday. This could be a good long. I'll be watching this one today as well. You're welcome, average guy. Yeah, hit the like button. NVIDIA, weekly bearish diamond. Is it? It's a head and shoulders. It didn't break the low here. A diamond pattern looks more like this. Like dollar, actually. Diamond looks like that. You break the neckline on the right side. It looks more like this. You see how we broke the left side support? That's more of a diamond or head and shoulders, either way. Okay. Israel stocks are down. I just saw that Bennett posted some Israel ETFs that are beaten down. Yeah, ISRA. What type of liquidity does that have? Oh, that's not tradable. EIS, is this tradable? Nope. IZRL. Yep, this one's tradable. Just barely. IZRL 1657 is your support. You broke it by 4 pennies on Friday. These could possibly be longs, but I don't think I'll be trading these. All right. ARC thoughts. Looking for a monthly high or low, weekly downtrend. Daily 37.57. We held support by 2 pennies on Friday. You could look for a potential long compared to Friday's low. I like that. All right, y'all have a wonderful day. TCG members, I'll have these notes over to you in a jiffy. Y'all use stop losses.